Watch us on YouTube. Listen on your favourite podcast platform. Or ask your smart speaker to play the podcast Leicester Till I Die.
Subscribe, like, follow, and join in now.
Love your sport, love your music. For the ultimate blend, it has to be LTID with your host, Chris.
And hello! Let me get rid of that. There we go. No plan B. Obviously, my plan A went to cock there. Good afternoon. We are in natural sunlight. Wow. How long for? Because it's going to be down with rain soon, I think. So it'll probably go dark. But good afternoon. Good evening. Good morning. Good day. Goodbye. Hello. Welcome along to Leicester Till I Die TV. We are live now on Facebook. YouTube and Twitter. And if you're joining us, listening to the podcast, thank you very much. It's Leicester Till I Die on your favourite podcast platforms. And of course, you can always listen to us via your smart speaker. Just ask it to play the podcast Leicester Till I Die TV. And we're all there. We are all over Tinternet on whatever socials you want. You can search us under Leicester Till I Die or LTID TV, whichever is easier for you. Thank you so much for missing Bargain Hunt if you watch me live. I know it's a big... that is actually becoming my guilty pleasure, Bargain Hunt. I know, I'm sad. I need to get out more. Matty, first of all, a couple of hellos. Matty's in. Afternoon, mate. How the devil are you? And Gray is in. Good morning. Hardman Terry should whip the lazy into shape. And Doug is in. Good afternoon, Chris, on your lunch break. Good afternoon. This is going to be a very short one. I often said that to the ex-missus. She's probably why she's the ex. Because we're doing a proper show about the appointment later. We did a show last night about the well, it was almost confirmed, but as usual with LCFC liking to bugger me up, they announced it as soon as I finished the show. So at 1:30 we've got Rob Tanner coming on from The Athletic, and Brad will be joining me, and we will be talking Dean Smith, Craig Shakespeare and John Terry. I do wonder, and it's a thought for the show later, would we be as welcoming to Dean Smith if he wasn't bringing Craig Shakespeare with him? Anyway, that's for another time. This is Life a Pitch. And as it says there, what has changed in the running of Leicester City? Apparently, and this is what really, really annoys me, apparently, Top did not have a plan in place should we sack Brendan Rodgers. Now, that is not just unbelievable for a football club. It is unbelievable for any business whatsoever. Would he run any of his King Power companies other than Leicester City in that way? You're at work, you get a promotion, you hand your notice in, you give 4 weeks notice. Plenty of time to find a replacement, advertise for a replacement. You sack somebody, and I've been a manager, and I've got rid of people, and I've gone to my manager and said, look, this person's got to go. And he went, okay, so what's your plan? And I said, well, we could, appoint this person on a temporary basis, see how they do. I think he could or she could do the job very, very well. Let's give her a run in. Or if you want to bring somebody new in, I think this person would be good. So you got a plan. When we sacked Claude Puel, we had a plan. Rodgers was in within a week almost. I don't think the seat had gone cold in the manager's dressing room before Rodgers had put his arse on it. So why not this time? Last season, you could hear the discontent. There was so much discontent out there last season. And yet, we managed to turn it round last season. There was the promise by Brendan that, we're going to play the youngsters towards the end of the season, give them a chance. Then, of course, you realise that actually, with the run of games we had, we might actually be able to not finish too bad. And I think we finished 8th last season. And we got, of course, to a European semi-final, which shouldn't be sniffed at. Shouldn't be. Let's be honest with you. If we'd won the Conference League, we'd have all been saying, "Brilliant, great, we've won a conference. Won a European trophy." Jose Mourinho was quite happy to win it. It just appears that if you were Arsenal or Manchester United or whatever, you didn't want to win it. Anyway, look, starts the season. We were at the end of the first game, which we had a lead and we threw away. We were sat in 11th place. Hello, Spencer, by the way. Welcome along, mate. We were sat in 11th place. That is the best we have been all season. So, okay, no alarm bells at that no alarm bells at that particular point because it's one game. We then lost. Are you ready for this? We've lost 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I can count. I didn't have to take my shoes and socks off either. We lost 6 in a row. And by week 4, we were 20th. Game week 5, we were 20th. Game week 6, we were 20th. Game week 7, we were 20th. And in that time, we lost to Chelsea 2-1. We lost to Southampton 2-1, first of all. Then we went bottom after we lost to Chelsea 2-1. We lost to Manchester United 1-0. And I suppose Top Mail looked at that and thought, 1-0 to Man United. I know we were at home, but maybe that's not too bad. We then got stuffed by Brighton, if you remember, 5-2. We got stuffed by Tottenham 6-2. And I remember everybody was going like, hey, just, we were on top in that first half. And all the Tottenham fans were saying, well, we were worried at half time. Shit, we still lost 6-2. After that, we beat Forest. Oh, and Luke's just come in. Afternoon, Luke. Sorry to mention that just at that point. We then lost to Bournemouth, who had just been stuffed 9-0 a few weeks earlier. We then drew with Palace. Then we beat Leeds and we beat Wolves. We lost 1-0 to Manchester City. And this is how bad it had got. It had got to the point where we were actually looking at a loss and going, wow, at least that wasn't a 5-6-2. But we then beat Everton and we then beat West Ham. So those teams that we won there, no disrespect to them, we beat Forest, who were in the relegation zone with us. We drew with Palace. All right, they've only done good since they sacked their manager. We beat Leeds. They're down there with us as well. We beat Wolves. They're struggling at the moment. We beat Everton. And we beat West Ham. Two teams, again, that are in the doo-doos with us. Now, my point here is that was the last game before the World Cup. And we were sat in 13th position. But when you look at that, and this was only a couple of seasons after we'd won the FA Cup. The season before, we'd got to a European Cup final. Who on the board looked at that and said, everything in the garden's rosy? Don't need to worry about a thing. No, don't worry. Be happy. So I'm going to start singing then. I just don't think that if I was looking at that, if I was a manager, I would be going, do you know what? I'm kind of worried about that. I really, I'm looking at that and thinking, we shouldn't be there. All right, we've just won four of our previous 5 games, and we drawn one of those just before that. But that shouldn't be the point. And I'm not saying, a lot of us were calling for Brendan to be sacked at that point, because let's be honest with you, that would have been the perfect time to have appointed a new manager. World Cup break, not coming back till after Christmas, time to get in and get used to the players that hadn't gone away. But oh no. No. That was much too simple for the top brass at Leicester City, wasn't it? Let's stick with him. We've beaten all these top teams. Everton used to be a top team. I remember them being in Europe. Leeds United, well, they got to a semi-final of what's now the Champions League. Great teams have been beaten here. Forest, they're our rivals. Oh, we could lose 37 games, but as long as we beat Forest, what the fuck was anybody at the top doing? Were they not looking at that and going, do you know what? We better get a plan B here. We better actually start thinking, what are we going to do? Just in case this does all go tits up. That's what I would have been doing. I'm sure that's what managers all around the country would have been doing. Susan Whelan, Andrew Neville, John Rudkin. What were you doing? Were you enjoying the nights out and the balls and the gowns and all that comes with being part of, a Premier League football team? Could you not see what was going on? Because I'll tell you something, 30,000 people every week in the stadium could bloody see what was going on. It was only you guys that couldn't. And Top, love you to bits. Appreciate everything you do for the club. Of course we do. And you've shown your dedication to the club by paying off £91 million, whatever it was. We love you for everything you and your family have done. But you took your eyes off the ball. And yes, you did have the problem, obviously, with the King Power main business, which is obviously duty-free and hotels, during COVID. So I appreciate that you were trying to sort of look after that. But it comes with being a businessman. It comes with owning all those businesses. Your brother is vice chairman. Why don't you send him over? Did you not ring up Susan and go, "Hi Susan, how's it going?" And she's going, "Yeah, very well." And you went, "Oh, brilliant, thank you. Speak to you next week." What? I can get facts on the computer here that show me, it's a graph that shows me where we were each week. That's how I knew we were bottom for 5 weeks running. Shows me game by game what position we were in. Could Top not find that? Because you can look at that and go, shit, what is going on? All right, FFP, it's not selling Tielemans, all that. That's another side to it. But what I'm saying is, why was a plan not in place? Why did we not look and go, we need a plan B? Brendan Rodgers is struggling. He might go. Yes, he's my bum buddy. I love him. I don't want to sack him. But you never know. Where your heart ruled your head when it came to Brendan Rodgers this season, you admitted you let him down. Or you didn't just let Brendan down, you let the whole club down. with the way you handled the FFP situation. Totally understand why you did it. Totally get it. You didn't want us to be another Leeds. But you never came out. You were so scared. You had such a yellow streak down your back that you were scared to actually say anything until your notes in the programme on transfer deadline day, when it was too late to do any fucking thing about it. Of course, by which time, all us fans would go fucking no, we hate Brendan, blah, blah, blah. And there was a horrible feeling created by your decision to keep it all to yourself. And once you've got that mindset, it's very difficult to then suddenly go back and say, well, we love this guy. Now, I'm not going to go through all the results since then because we know what it's been like. We know where we've been. But let's just have a look at who we've lost to. Bournemouth. Villa. We drew with Brentford. We lost to Chelsea. We lost to Southampton. We've lost twice to the team that's bottom of the league. All right, we lost to Arsenal and we lost to Man United. But how many of those games were winnable? We lost to Forest 2-0. And we lost to Fulham. Fulham and Brentford, you've got to say, are having a fantastic season. So actually losing to them, is not. It's like with Brighton. It's not the be all and end all. I kind of get it because they are, a hell of a lot better than us. But all those other teams, and no disrespect to them whatsoever, because they would look and think, Leicester are coming, we can beat them. But we're the same. We look at that and think we can beat those teams. If we'd had a new manager in, we might have already been able to beat them. And no disrespect to Dean Smith, but there would have been other managers available. Who, and I know we've got Dean Smith in now, Graham Potter. I don't blame him not wanting to come. I really, really don't. Who would want to come to Leicester and possibly look and think, I could be managing a championship team next season? Because somebody like Potter isn't going to come in on an interim basis. He's going to want to come in full time. I get that. But who's going to come? Back then, when we were sat, let's have a look here. We were sat on the 10th of December. We were sat in 13th, having just helped Liverpool beat us. So we were looking at 13th. Yeah, Premier League club. Look at the history they've got. Now, history counts for nothing. How many people looked at Leeds and went, well, they're good. Look where they got to, and look how they nearly ruined it. Look what happened when Roy Hodgson went in. And what did you do? While Rome burned, you sat and you fiddled. And you put in charge. I don't know how Adam Sadler was still there. Surely if he was the first team coach, he was therefore part of Brendan's backroom staff and therefore should have been sacked with him. But you've replaced a clown with a clown. I keep saying this, Scooby-Doo. At the end of the season, they'll rip Sadler's mask off and it'll be Brendan Rodgers. And he'll turn around and say, I would have got away with it if it hadn't been for them pesky players. The guy had he was out of his depth. Stow should have been in charge. That guy, unless you are the village idiot, and I'm being unkind to village idiots here, looks and says, do you know what? Brendan's just been sacked, and I've been asked to replace him. I'm going to do exactly what he's been doing all season because it's worked so well, hasn't it? Yeah, that's why I was fucking sacked, you idiot. Bournemouth, biggest game of the season. We're in 19th, they're in 18th. We are at home. What does that muppet do? 2 defensive midfielders and 1 up front. And that 1 up front you'd put on the week before against Villa at home because you wanted to get the crowd to like you. Not because Vardy was the best option. The best option was Iheanacho, who's got his best record against Aston Villa. But you said, no! I want the fans to like me. If I put Vardy on, they'll think, oh, wonderful, you're bringing Vardy back. Yeah, if you had a plan to supply him, because he had 5 touches in the first half against Villa. So what did you do against Bournemouth? You played him again. That top is the person that you put in charge of the fucking club. You said, I've sacked him because he's rubbish. And what happens? You put someone in his place who is just copies him. We might as well have kept Brendan for those 2 games. And had you sacked him earlier, like I say, not only would we have had, 13th, we'd have looked a better choice for somebody to come and manage us. We'd have got, and no disrespect to Dean, we'd have got maybe better managers. Who knows if Sean Dyche would have been the man to save us. We'll never know. He's struggling at Everton, but in fairness, I think we've got a better bunch of players. He said very... I'm just lost. I just can't believe this has happened on your watch, Top. And whatever you've done for us, and what you've done for us is absolutely amazing. But you are only remembered for your last game, basically. We've always said football is a results-driven business. Well, do you know what? Business is a results-driven business. Because if you are running a business that is making losses and losses and losses, and, your competitors are above you in the sales stakes, a radio station, your competitors getting more listeners than you. Everything's about doing better than everybody else. And you were caught wanting on your watch. You were fiddling while Leicester City burned. You were like the guy on the Titanic that was on the watch that didn't have a pair of binoculars. I'm not going to quote any more metaphors. So on your top, so what has happened? This club has gone from being a club that everybody said, what a well-run club that is. We want our club to be run. I wish our club was being run like that. Not saying that now, are they? No. They're looking at us and going, yeah, we wanted to be like them. Look where they are now. A total and utter mess. That, Top, is your fault. You have to take the blame. I'm not saying Susan Whelan, Andrew Neville or John Rudkin weren't involved, but you're the guy at the top. When it comes to picking the team, the buck stops and sorting the team out and the results, the buck stops with the manager. I've always said that, and you got rid of him. But to have no plan B in place when you're looking at that season and you can see how shit we've been. At no point you thought, we might have to get rid of Brendan here. Incompetent, Top. Incompetent. Obviously, you're not the businessman that your father was. And I hate to say that, but it's true. Acting too late. I said when we got rid of Rodgers, was it too late? 10 games to go. We've now got 8 games to go. At least we've got the new guy in now. We can come in. Man City's a free hit. We ain't going to get anything. My worry about Man City is, will they beat the 9-0 record and score 10 against us? It's quite possible. But that's a free hit. But after that, we've got 4 games that are must-wins. We're hosting Wolves. We've got to win that. We're away to Leeds United. We've got to win that. We're at home to Everton. We've got to win that. We're away to Fulham. No Mitrovic. That is winnable. We've then got home to Liverpool. Maybe we'll score a goal for them again, but hopefully we might get a draw from that one. Newcastle, yeah, let's be honest, we're not going to get anything away at Newcastle. And then West Ham on the last day. So, do what you can, Dean and guys. Not expecting a lot from Manchester City, but those next 4 games are absolutely vital. Otherwise, we won't be known as having this great owner that got us to the Premier League and the FA Cup and Europe consecutive seasons, the semi-final of a European competition. will be known as the team with the owner who took us back to where we were when he took us over. Quickly go through some comments here. Gray says that's bad management, Top. Sorry, it is. I don't care what you say, it is. Unless it's spur of the moment, perhaps Roger said something to upset Top. Oh, come on. He had to go. I don't think it. All this sort of mutual consent bullshit. It's like, we're going, we'll pay you this much, but everybody's got to keep quiet. Hi, Spencer. Luke's in. Still think this is too late for you. Yeah, you could well be right. Should have gone many times before. We've been falling off a cliff all season. Exactly, Gray. So why is anybody that is the custodian of our football club at the moment, couldn't they see it? Like I say, 30,000 fans at every home game could see it. And we've got the Muppet Show running us at the moment. So I'll tell you what, Susan Whelan, Andrew Neville, John Rudkin, none of them will talk to a fan show because they know we will ask the awkward questions. It's an open invitation, not just on LTID TV. I'm sure any Leicester channel will give an open invitation to come on, answer the questions. But no, but basically that yellow line that goes down your back is showing again. Best of a bad bunch, probably. Just typical, always pop on at the right time. You did. Mike, good evening, sir. Good afternoon, good morning, good day. Welcome along, James. How are you? It's infuriating, totally, but it's bad management as well. You've lost to Southampton twice, bottom of the league. Exactly. Jobs for the boys? I don't know. I think Top is not savvy enough to run everything, and that's why he needed the help of Whelan and Rudkin. Yeah, but again, if they're not doing the job, Top, sack them and get somebody in who can do. Yeah, we did. Totally and utterly did. This is it now. And I've got to be honest, we're doing a show in half an hour at 1:30 that will be about Mike Dean Smith. So joining that. But yes, I agree with that 100%. Table doesn't lie. No. Sadler, complete clone of Rogers, 110 million, thousand, trillion, billion %. Accurate deadline taken. Yeah, exactly. Cowardice, I'm afraid. I'm absolutely living the dream, Max. Living the dream. Hindsight is a wonderful thing, mate, but it's not hindsight, Doug. Every Liverpool fan was saying about Rodgers. Just as when we took on Ranieri, everybody from Italy was saying he'll have a great first season, then he'll start doing his own thing, and it'll all go down the drain, which it did. And you were right about Rodgers, totally in an action. I was saying, well, give him a fourth. He's never had a fourth season. Maybe that's why. We gave him a fourth season. It was fucking shit. So yes, hindsight is a wonderful thing, but we saw this happening. I've just gone through all the info. I think you probably missed it, but 13th is the highest we've been all season. We were bottom for 5 weeks. They should have looked at it and said, "Fuck, we're in trouble here. Let's get a list of who we need. Let's get a list of possibilities." Now, I'm not saying approach them or whatever, but it's done, isn't it? People talk to agents and things like that. So that's what we're saying, because what was said was that Top had no idea who was going to replace Rodgers with. And that is the damning statement. He left it until 10 games to go, 28 games played. He said, "This is rubbish, sack. Whoops, what am I going to do now?" You should have fucking listened to all the fans earlier in the season. Keep the faith, Chris. I agree that people surrounding Top need to go. As for Top himself, he will come good. Yeah, as I say, I do not want Top to leave the club, but it doesn't mean that we can't criticise him. We've got the best chairman out there. He will make mistakes, but when he makes those mistakes, he's got to be prepared to be called out for it. You know, we all sat there licking his dad's arse and his arse when we won the Premier League. We all came out after the FA Cup. Boy, wasn't he wonderful? Yes, they were. 100,000,000%. But when things go wrong, they've got to take the criticism. Doesn't mean we don't love them. Doesn't mean we don't support the club. All it means is we've got an opinion. No, he won't, Greg. I mean, the guy's just put, was it £192 million worth of debt into shares? That is not a man that's going to walk away from us. Not a man that's going to walk away from us at all. All we can hope is that they do what Burnley have done. That's get rid of everybody that was useless and bring in a whole new team. The only worry is that if they're thinking they're going to get Potter at the end of the season, we better make sure we're still in the Premier League. Man City's, yeah, it is. Exactly. Mate, have you seen our away form? You will probably win that. I don't know if I'd go that far. Like I say, we'll score a goal for you just to give you a start. I'd take a point in that game. I really would. Chester, hello. Mike, yeah, we'll see you later, Mike. Doug Leicester, the fact you have a poor away record means a guaranteed Liverpool win. Couldn't have put it better myself, Chester. Couldn't have put it better myself. Okay, Boris. Okay, so you're saying we've had a bad injury list. Whose fault was that? Brendan? His training methods? Wesley Fofana, we signed him. He went, "Oh, this is intense. I've never known any training like this before." So yes, we can't blame injuries. I'm sorry. That is such a no disrespect, Boris. Respect your opinion, but it's a lame excuse that all clubs were like, we were saying it last season. We had all the injuries, and again, it was. Why didn't somebody turn around again? One of the big names and go, have we got Harold Shipman working at our training ground? Why are all these injuries happening? Because they were happening at the training ground, not always on the pitch. It'll be interesting to see if he plays two up front as well. But this show is called, as you can see there, Life's a Pitch. This is my soapbox outlet. That's what it is. Thank you very much for joining. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you very much for accepting. Look, you might not agree with me, and I respect your opinion if you don't agree with me. Yeah, we'll have a bit of banter, maybe have a little bit of a raised voices in here at each other, but it's your opinion and you are entitled to it, and I respect that. This is mine, and it's my channel, so... my therapist told me it was good to talk. Okay, here we go. So... let's have a look what Dean Smith's going to bring. We will be back in 24 minutes, and we will be back for this. We spoke last night. We had a lot of people on, and we discussed the Smith appointment. It wasn't confirmed then. It was 99%. It has now been confirmed. Brad will be joining me at 1:30. I'm hoping to get Rob Tanner in from the Athletic to join us just for 20 minutes to give his thoughts. Look, this is Leicester. It's never going to be boring, is it? Thanks to everybody, like I say, who was in the chat. If you've lent me your ears on the podcast, thank you so much for doing that. Leicester Till I Die is the podcast. LTID TV is on Facebook, YouTube, and also on Twitter. We are all over it when it comes to the socials, and you can find us wherever you want to find us, basically. This has been LTID TV. I've been Chris. This is Arnie. See you in half an hour. Good afternoon.
Thanks for watching. These videos are tremendous. You better like them too, or I'll be back.
This podcast is proud to be part of the TalkSport Fan Network. TalkSport. Powered by fans.
That's all, folks.
Thanks for watching Leicester Till I Die. This is Chris saying goodbye and see you next time.
I'm looking for Dr. Goodhead.